Yeah, we're on. All right. Hello. Welcome to the Pinal County Community College District Governing Board work meeting, January 21st, 2025. First thing is call to order. I will notice and state that everybody's here. We have our new soon-to-be sworn-in member, Sheila Muehling, here also with us. And so I'd ask Dr. Ordeorn to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we have the adoption of agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion approved. Action items, we have the swearing in of new governing board members, Sheila Muehling and Gilbert Lopez. So if you'd like to come up to the flag and we'll get sworn in.
Raise your right hand and state your name. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Gilbert Lopez, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the constitutions and laws of the state of Arizona,
Constitutions and laws of the state of Arizona.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
And I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of member of the governing board of Central Arizona College, according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
All right, that's always exciting. Let's see, so next we have call to the public, and the board is prohibited by ARIS statute from discussing, considering, or action on items raised during call to the public. Individuals are limited to a 3-minute presentation. Do we have anybody sign up? Okay, we have nobody signed up. We'll move forward, and we'll go to number 6, election of officers. Do we have, oh, yes.
Yes. Mr. Chair, I
Yes.
would like to, with the board's agreement, I would like to offer a slate of officers for the governing board today.
Okay.
For board president, 2025, Gilbert Lopez, board secretary and vice president, Jerry Walker, and the election of Arizona Association of Community College Trustees representative, David Ordeorn.
Okay. Do I have a motion and a second to for the slate of officers? Any discussion? We're good? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Great. Congratulations, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. And then now we have consideration of consent agenda. So we have the minutes, personnel reports, and let's see, discussion, approval, disapproval, new vision statement. No, that's separate, right? Just, okay, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
Second?
Second.
A motion and second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. So the consent agenda is approved. All right, item number 8, discussion, approval, disapproval of a new vision statement. Dr. Elliott.
Good afternoon, governing board members, President Lopez, faculty, staff, and guests. Board, you'll recall that at our December work session, we talked about the new wildly important goal of persistence, term-to-term persistence for students. Additionally, during that discussion, I shared with you that during our strategic planning meeting earlier that summer, those on the strategic planning President's Cabinet, we discussed the wildly important goals that we previously have held to create a world-class learner experience and make CAC a great place to work. One of the discussions that we landed on is that those two very, 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 very broad goals do not meet the 4DX standard of SMART goals. So the discussion was that perhaps because that is widely, sorry, I'm getting confused, across campus, that we really wanted to incorporate that into a new vision statement. And as you can see in the background, our current vision statement is Central Arizona's premier choice in education and career excellence. And what we are proposing is that we change the CAC's vision to create a world-class learner experience and a great place to work. And again, we did discuss this pretty at length during our work session in December, and that's also when you approved our new wildly important goal of 70% persistence term to term by 2027.
Any discussion or questions for Dr. Elliott?
This brings more clarity to our intent, so I think it just says it better in essence.
Works for me.
Yeah. Do we need to approve this?
Yes,
Okay.
you do need to approve.
Okay, no discussion. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approved.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And then next item, number 9, discussion approval, disapproval to cancel the March 25th, 2025 governing board meeting. Dr. Elliott.
Also, you may recall at our December work session, we talked about our board meeting schedule and the frequency, and we decided that perhaps we don't need to meet monthly. That way we have more robust board meetings. And the reason we did discuss canceling the March meeting, although our schedule is still approved for the year. So I wanted to bring that to you so we can officially cancel the meeting. It makes it extremely difficult getting board materials and everything when you have the week off before for spring break. We struggled a little bit, if you don't recall, with this month with having Monday off. So we're hoping that a revised board schedule that we'll bring to you when we typically approve the board schedule for next year, we'll have fewer dates. But we are asking if we could go ahead and cancel the March one to make it easier on everyone in getting materials.
Yeah, I think being efficient and also helping get information to us and everything is really important. So is there any discussion, any questions? Okay.
The only thing that I would have to say to augment that in any way is that it takes long-range planning sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think Dr. Elliott, staff's taking consideration of that for sure. So some of those things that as we go forward, and if we need to adjust it, we can. You know, so that's
If we need to adjust it, we can, but if we don't need to adjust it, we won't.
right.
It's
Exactly.
something that's fluid. It's not signed and carved in concrete and signed in blood.
Yes,
That's right.
That's right. So, any other discussion? Yes,
Just,
Dr.
I would say I've been on the other side of, Jackie's side of preparing for board meetings, and it can be a tremendous,
Your mic, so we can pick you up.
it can be a tremendous load, particularly at times when there is a week off and things like that. And clearly, we overmeet as it is. So given that, I would move that we approve that cancellation.
Great. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, a motion is second to cancel the March 25th, 2025 meeting. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Opposed?
I want to make a point of clarification. Mary Lou does all the work for getting the board meeting together, so I can't take any credit.
Oh, no, never fine. No. So, the motion on the floor, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Oh,
Did we already-
We
You
did.
did? Okay. All those opposed? Motion carries. Lost track of there. And, okay, number 10, discussion, approval, disapproval of the fee schedule for 2025-26. And that's also on we have a presentation. Louis Sott, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Governing Board President Lopez, Governing Board members, Dr. Elliott, Mary Lou, colleagues, and guests. So in your packet, we have provided with you a schedule of special fees. These are evaluated annually with a recommendation presented to the Board of Governors for approval. So we're asking that you approve those special fees scheduled for the academic year 25-26 as presented.
Okay, and it looks like there are no changes to it, right? The proposed are the same as last year? Is there a couple? Where's
There
it?
is a current column and a proposed column where you can
Ah,
see. any
Okay,
diff-
okay, I see, I
A
see.
lot of them
Sorry.
are the same, but there are some that we are requesting to change.
Okay, yeah, I looked at the no change and okay, now I got it. Sorry. Any questions from the board?
No, I just wanted to comment, just on the lighter side, that the massage fees are going up, but I think we have a new facility that would accommodate a higher charge, right? Those
They
of us
did
who visited.
$35?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, I would move to approve the fee schedule as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right. So, let's see. Information items, policy for first reading, recruitment and selection. Jennifer Lawson. Hi.
Hi, good
How are you?
afternoon, Board President Lopez, Dr. Elliott, board members, Mary Lou and guests. Before you is going to be first reading for our new policy for recruitment and selection. We essentially documented our recruitment process and got it into a policy and procedure. The policy we left vague for several reasons, less updates if necessary, but we did create a recruitment and selection procedure that I provided you a copy with that goes into detail about what our recruitment process will look like. So I'm here to ask you to approve for first reading of our policy.
We don't have to? Okay. Okay, so first reading, we don't need to do approval at this point.
Just first reading.
Okay. All right.
Any questions?
Any questions from the board? We have the information in our packet, so it looks pretty good.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's go now to reports. Report from College President Dr. Jackie Elliott.
Thank you, President Lopez. The first item on my report is the Pence Center update. So shortly before the holiday break, we had a meeting with the trust, and I have finally made the decision that I think what is in the best interest of our college and our community is to not rebuild the Pence Center, but to build a new building that can accommodate Pinal County growth, future, that is much needed in this community. And also gives us an opportunity to move some academic programs in the N building that building is quite aged into a new facility. So while we were finished with construction projects, we will be starting with a new construction project that I think is going to be the diamond in the desert for Pinal County. So we are in the process of getting the request for qualifications out. That should be out for 3 weeks or so. Hope to get a committee together and have someone selected to move forward with the project. So I'm
Great.
happy to answer any questions. Yes, Jim.
What are we doing with the facility that the roof caved in on, the Pence Center?
Yeah.
We will eventually tear it down.
It'll be completely razed to the ground?
Yes. It's a 50-year-old building. It was built in 1971, I think. So, we had discussions about gutting it, but the layout is just really awkward. It's served its purpose. It's served its time. We will continue to honor Pence as president. We may not name the new performing arts building the Pence Center. We will name it the Pence Auditorium within the new building. We would also like to add a cultural aspect, a nod to the indigenous community with maybe an art gallery and other things. There'll be an enormous opportunity for donations and fundraising. Craig has done a really good job of putting together our fundraising plan. My goal is to be able to allow anybody and everybody who wants to contribute to have their name on something. So even if students want to be involved in naming opportunities. So we believe this building will give us a great opportunity to conduct a capital campaign with multiple naming opportunities.
So that leaves something open for my project for Apache Junction. I want an amphitheater there.
I know, Terry. Let's get finished with the new Performing Arts Center here first, okay?
No, let's do the amphitheater first, and then this one.
So I think this is going to be a wonderful, exciting project for us and for this campus, and not only for the community. One of the things we're planning, and I have my vision board up if you want to see what I've been envisioning, a banquet hall that can hold, you know, a significant amount of people, because the options are limited in Pinal County for events of any size. So we're excited to be able to give that opportunity back to the county in our community. So with that, my second item is the LGES Workforce Training Center. It is completed. The certificate of substantial completion has all been finalized. LGES will probably take occupancy here in the next month or so. They've kind of had some fits and starts, but it is a beautiful building. We are hopefully planning some kind of ribbon cutting ceremony. Again, we're dealing with LGES, Pinal County, ACA, and the college, so trying to coordinate how that event can be the best event for everybody involved. And so I'm happy to answer any questions about that. Evelyn did get to see the building
Oh, yeah.
when we had our ribbon cutting last week. So.
Another gem in Apache Junction.
Yes.
So
We wanna
you're
put-
getting your fair share.
We want to put Apache Junction on the map.
So hopefully, with the permission of LGES, we'll be able to open it up for some tours in the next few months. Spring enrollment, we're up about 252 students from last spring.
Oh, good.
So that's trending pretty well. Would like to see that larger, but you know, we only have so much capacity right now and everywhere. And then I also want to give you an update on our 4DX training. As you know, we created some training for all full-time employees, leader of teams, leader of leaders, and all employees. To date, 99% of employees have completed the training, which is just phenomenal. I'm just so excited that people are really taking an interest in this planning model. We're shooting for 100% completion on the training, but I think 99% is pretty good. There are 4 people that haven't been able to finish it. So we're pretty excited about that. And then last week we had our huge 4DX kickoff. So I'm going to hand you guys some coasters, help yourself. 4DX kickoff with participation on all campuses. We had some funny videos that people were able to view. And so the excitement around 4DX is really refreshing for us. Starting next week, departments will start bringing their activity ideas to cabinet, that the activities that they will deploy to help students stay on course. And so we're pretty excited about that. And then one last thing is I will be meeting with the governor tomorrow with my colleagues across the state to kind of lay out our legislative desires for the year. We typically have an opportunity to be in front of the governor each year around this time. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm happy to answer any questions. I know that was a lot of information.
Any questions, board? Nope. It was a really good report. Thank you. A lot of hard work. So thank you very much. Well, we'll go ahead into the next item, Business Affairs Report. We saw monthly budget report first.
Thank you, Governing Board President Lopez, board members, Dr. Elliott, Mary Lou, colleagues, and guests. You have the monthly budget report in your packets. The monthly budget report reflects year-to-date November of 2024, and November of 2024 shows the district's operating fund expenditures at 37.21% of total budget. This is a decrease of 1.22% from November of 2023, which was at 38.43%.
It's a really close amount. I mean, it's pretty much normal, right? Sometimes they fluctuate a little bit throughout the year, I know. Any questions on the report? But great, thank you.
Okay. And then you have the purchases over 20,000. You have a schedule in your packet of all purchases over 20,000 through November.
Well, really, I'm always impressed. There are always, a lot of things are under budget. So,
Yes.
you know, so they're
And beginning next month, this is where we talked in our working session that we will start reporting bids. So actual awarded bids will go to the governing board
Okay,
for
good.
information. Those will be everything over 100,000.
Okay, sounds great. Any questions? All right. Thank you very much. So next we have number 14, wildly important goals and outcomes progress report and operations finance presentation. Louise, you're back.
Okay, so we're going to report on the board outcome of stewardship from the operations and finance area. So we had a Baker Tilly consultant come in. This was one of our scheduled projects that we wanted to work on and take a look at our, evaluate our purchasing processes. They were evaluating it to see, comparing our processes to statutes in the state, comparing it to other community colleges or universities throughout the country, making sure that, taking a look to see if our processes were effective and efficient. These are some of the points that the report came back as. It's in draft status now, but we've reviewed this. I've reviewed this. Purchasing director has reviewed it, and we're pretty much in agreement with pretty much everything that they gave us suggestions for. So I figured it would be good to bring this to the board to report out the results of that evaluation. So these are the things that they pointed out that we should work on within that area of the college. So better documentation and training. So, some employees struggle with our processes within the anthology system, and it's just the more documentation that we can provide, updated documentation to our employees, the better, and the more training that we can provide for them to make the process more efficient for them as they're trying to purchase things for the college and for our students. They recommended a committee formation, so taking various departments to document and prioritize issues and collaborate with the anthology to find solutions. So we implemented the anthology system about 5 years ago, and everything has stayed the same for those last 5 years. We tend to not have the time to improve some of those processes, to implement more pieces of the system that would make purchasing simpler for our employees, or more efficient even for our accounting staff. So their recommendation was to create a department, and that includes, a committee with several departments of the college to talk about the things that we could do better within the anthology system with our purchasing process, and help those other departments assist us in prioritizing those needs to see what projects we're going to work on and which ones do we need to involve anthology with to help us improve those processes. They recommended that the purchasing department have a weekly question and answer session, so have a specific time each week that they will be available to anyone who wants to contact the purchasing department for assistance with anything related to the purchasing process. Improving notifications and approval process. So some of that has to do with training as well. It's just people not knowing the status of where their item is. Even though we're working on it, they don't know exactly where it is in that approval process. And so just improving the training and maybe even having more notifications created within the system to let people know where the status of their item is within the purchasing process. There were comments on budget management, so allowing people to manage their budgets better versus currently, only because it's what we know how to do, is people have to send budget requests, transfer requests to us so that they can get their items purchased. And they have to wait for us to process it, or for finance to process it, before they can get their requisition in, because the system won't let them do it if the budget is not there. So it's trying to improve those processes to allow our departments to manage their own budgets without having to have the finance department assist them with that, which is something we've always known we'd like to be able to do. We've just haven't quite taken the time to figure out how do we do that within the system. And then just some other process enhancements of the way the workflow works, like how it flows through to different areas and thresholds within those workflows and all of that. They made some recommendations on that and how it might make the process more efficient, and might allow some of our employees to not feel so, stressed out about trying to get things purchased, because sometimes it does take some time with our workflows. So all of their recommendations aim to enhance the efficiency, transparency, and user experience of the anthology system across the organization. And so what are our next steps? Our next steps are that within, myself and the finance department, we want to create a project timeline, to say, okay, set some timelines of when we want to hold each other accountable for creating a committee, setting up the office hours, meeting with Anthology, and all those things that they've suggested that we do. I want to create a project, have us have a timeline of when we're going to accomplish these tasks. Being transparent about the recommendations, the project timeline, and the status. So reporting out to the college on where we're at with our project timeline once we get it created. What's the status of each of those items within the project? And then just making this project a priority. So many of these suggestions we were all aware needed to happen, but it's a matter of trying to take the time to free your staff up from the everyday tasks that they're trying to accomplish, and to be able to learn more about the anthology system and help implement more pieces of the system to make the process more efficient for our staff. So that, the goal is so that people can purchase things when they need them and get them when they need them to be able to support the students. Any questions on?
Yeah, it's a great presentation. I know that certainly we're all for reducing bureaucracy and streamlining processes, and also along with the balance of the checks and balances. So especially I like the part where you check the budget.
Yes.
My background's in finance and all that, so I know we've talked before, and you're doing a great job. So any questions, please, Jerry? I saw you.
Just speaking about your project timeline, are you going to have a completely detailed timeline showing what you need, when you need it, and everything all the way to completion of the project?
Yes, so taking all the different recommendations that they made, that we say, okay, we're committed to accomplishing these different recommendations. So, we have to prioritize those recommendations and set expected timelines of what we think are reasonable timelines to accomplish that work. Because, it's not, getting the report is one thing, but actually following through with the recommendations that were made, of which most of them we knew should happen anyway. It's just a matter, like I said, of taking that time. So I think setting a project timeline to hold ourselves accountable for accomplishing these goals is necessary in order for us to keep it as a priority, and so that the CAC staff and faculty know that we're interested in making this process better for them. So that's what I want to do.
You're going to have the budget for each item outlined in the budget so that we can see how much money you're looking to spend at any particular given time, and then the total cost at the end.
Most of these projects, or most of these tasks within this project, have no money involved with them. A majority of it is time, employee time. So you have to be able to, send people to training or have them, or schedule training for them. Sometimes it's a matter of just educating our finance staff on the system, or allowing them time that they can set aside to learn how they can improve the process. and testing it, all those kinds of things. It's just, most of it's time consuming. Some of it may cost money, but and again, we'll have to prioritize those based on whether the budget allows it or not. But a majority of these things are actually simple things, just time consuming things to do. Creating documentation, creating training for our staff, being available for them. All of those things, you know, configuring the system to allow them to do their own budget transfers so that they can purchase things quicker instead of waiting on us to make those transfers for them. It's just time consuming, where we have to figure out how to free up the staff that can gain the expertise to do this, to be able to make the process more efficient.
We have another question over your board member.
Yeah,
Suga.
actually, not a question. I can't believe it's been 5 years since you all rolled it out. And as everybody remembers, that was a huge, huge project. But what you're saying kind of related to what Jerry's question was, all of this is part of the package that you got in the first place.
Yes.
That we already paid for, and now you can make the time. And I think that's just a good use of the resource that we purchased already. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Nope. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it. Okay, next we have, explain real quick, call to the board is our opportunity for each board member to talk about their area, the things they're interested in, or board member,
maybe give you, talk about yourself a little bit, just introduce yourself to the board. I'll start with Jerry first, and then we'll come down the line.
Okay, start with Jerry first, okay. I just want to praise God that he won the election this year, and there's no more DEI, and there are only 2 genders. That makes me happy. No more competition with people who think they know more than God.
board member Mueling. Welcome.
We have a
You
new
jumped right
year
into it.
and a new beginning. So,
Absolutely. Glad to have you, and I think your experience as, with construction and all those things really come in handy as we're looking at all these different things, so that's great. Dr. Odeon.
I guess the important things are welcome, Sheila. Good to
Thank
have you
you.
here.
Thank you.
And good to have you finally sworn in, Gilbert.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, both of you.
This board member Kasuga.
Well, I just wanted to welcome Board Member Mueling as well, and all of us for kicking off the new year. And that I'm very excited that those of us who showed up at the groundbreaking last
was really
week,
nice.
that was just phenomenal. And I think that the community, there were 2 border supervisors there.
Mm-hmm.
There were several council members there from Apache Junction and some other folks that were pleased. And your, Ms. Barry, your team did an awesome job of welcoming and giving a lot of facts and figures to all of the visitors, but more to come with the LGES facility.
Yeah.
And that's another feather in the cap of CAC. And I think we should be all very proud to be part of what this team is laying out, but with more to come between the Pence Center and the other projects. So congratulations on what's already been done, but we've got lots to do ahead. I'm very excited.
Great. Yes, I also want to welcome you and thank you. We're a complete board again. That's great. And the only thing I would share, and I apologize, I missed that portion of there. I was here at Andrew Clegg was doing a presentation on workforce, so I attended that, and I didn't think I could get up there and come back, and I knew we had good representation up there at the board. So I just want to mention I attended the Board of Supervisors event last Friday, and it was all the Pinal County Board, but what they were talking about is I just wanted to highlight that they really talked about Central Arizona College's role in workforce development, and so that was really important, and they mentioned it all. It was a packed house, over 175 people from businesses to cities to everybody, so it was really good, and I was really happy to see that. And Evelyn was there, and she also kind of sparked that conversation a little bit, so that's good. Yeah, so that's awesome. So with that, I think we have any more business. I'll call this meeting adjourned.
All right.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it.